Good morning, everybody. Happy Cinco de Mayo here in the United States. Well, at least in California, we love Cinco de Mayo. It's actually a Mexican holiday. I want to welcome everybody back. Happy Sunday morning. Hey, Dimitri. Oh my goodness, I have to tell you, Dimitri, you made me laugh out loud. I was looking through the video yesterday to see if anybody won, and I read your comment about Teri, seeing Teri being fiery, and I just laughed out loud. It really got me. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. I have to say, guys, I didn't see a winner. The number last week was 32. And so many people had like 321, 327. And here it is, the 32. So let's try this again, everybody. Between 1 and 500. I'm wondering if I should, well, let's see, I can't because look at the jar. Here's the jar. This is all our numbers. And once a number's been played, it goes, it's out of play. So at least we'll be knocking things down. Hey, Stephen, welcome back. Hi, Amber. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Saudi Arabia. Welcome, Arkansas. Okay, we're putting another number back in the little bowl, little envelope. And I hope somebody wins this time. I swear I thought people would win every single week. Hey, New Jersey. Okay. And I don't know if Small Wildflowers is here yet, but if she is, and I'm assuming it's a she because I just am, I want to thank you for all your help moderating, and I want to give you a little present for that. So please contact me through Lotta's site. Okay, everybody, let's jump in. Stephen, we missed you last week. Your presence was definitely missed. Okay, let's jump into Aries. So, wait, before we jump in, you guys, yesterday was the full moon in Taurus. I don't know if you've had a chance to see Lotta's most recent video, but it's a really, really fortuitous week to take advantage of Venusian things. And what I wanted to kind of bring up is, I know we talk about the, money and beauty and possessions and things like that, but I really want to talk about the opportunity to claim our self-worth, to really use this Taurus energy, having a bullish moon myself, a Taurus moon, sometimes that stubbornness can actually anchor me into the vibration I want while I'm working towards feeling more comfortable within it. So I want to just offer everybody to say, claiming your self-worth this week, claiming the things that you love about yourself, and kind of being, I want to use the word a little boastful. And I don't mean that boasting to others as much as it is to yourself in that claiming of that. Okay. Oh, and also I want to mention Taurus rules food as well, because this particular new moon, I was really focused on wanting to have spirit support me eating in a way that supports my body for its long-term benefit. All right, let's jump into Aries. All right, Aries. Woo! Cards are flying. Okay. All right, so I don't see Small Wildflowers, guys, so be patient with me today. If I'm moderating for myself, hopefully she'll show up. Hey, California. Welcome in my same state. All right, what is up for Aries with this new moon? Woo! 2 cards just flew out. First angel is Rochelle. The second is Sonia. Our third angel is Archangel Gabriel, and the final is Bridget. Okay, so let's see who's joining them. Last week, I think I said my dog has a Pisces moon, but he actually has an Aries moon. He is a double Pisces, a Pisces rising and a Pisces sun. Okay. Who is joining Rochelle? We have the Focus card. We have the Love card joining Sonia. We have the Letting Go card joining Archangel Gabriel. And we have the Wasp card joining Bridget. Okay. So in our foundational position, we have Rochelle. Rochelle talks about honoring and following the guidance of my heart. And this is really the deeper truth of what we want. You know, sometimes when we think we're following the guidance of our heart, we're actually following an idea of what we think we can attain, what we think is possible. And the guidance of our heart is really the unattainable, the what seems like pie in the sky, what seems like maybe, you know, too good to be true, because this focus is what's important about how to start the manifestation of following my heart. I feel like using this new moon's energy to really put a spotlight on what you want, because I'm going to jump Aries rising to the final position. I have Bridget here, and I have the Wasp. This is kind of a little bit of a challenging energy. I'm not going to lie. This is, you know, Bridget is always asking us to look deeper into the situation. What are our motivations? And the Wasp here is really, it's, to me, it's kind of representing the dynamics of being frustrated and angry. And I think it's because Aries rising may be telling them a little bit of a story about what they think they want because of what they think they can attain. And I really think this is bursting out of the box of that. It's really going for the gusto. So let's just say that you're a female and you really want to experience the joys of motherhood, of being a wife, of being a homemaker. And yet, you know, the people around you may have grander ideas about what they want to achieve. And you've somehow thought that because I want that, it's not enough. I feel like Spirit is saying, no, it's enough. And it's okay for you to want the things you want, not to allow anybody else to determine what those things are, because that's when I think the frustration and the annoyance comes in. Because in my opportunity or my obstacle, I have the Love card, and it's joined by Sonia. Sonia represents a deceased loved one, saying that a deceased loved one is safe and well cared for in heaven. But in this large collective, for me, this is really your spirit guides saying, we're here and we want you to experience love in the deepest form. And that form is not necessarily in the intimate love form. It's in the feeling purposeful and feeling kind of like the boss of your own life. That's kind of how I want to put it. Because here I have Archangel Gabriel, and I have the letting go card. Now, you guys have seen me do this a few times. Letting go card is Elsa going up the mountain from Frozen. It's writing my story. And it's funny how some distance makes everything look small. And this is what Archangel Gabriel is saying. Let me take over what you're fearful of. Turn it over to me. And when I say that as a collective, I don't want to plead with Spirit. I don't want to say, oh, please help me do this, or please take away my fears, because our fears are the very ingredients, the recipe to feel empowered. Because when we allow ourselves to push past what we're afraid of, then that's the tail wag. That's the excitement. That's what feels purposeful and gives us the courage and the strength to move past the next obstacle. Every dream inherently has an obstacle and an opportunity attached to it. And inherently, another big dream will be created once the first one is achieved, or a series of them. So for Aries rising this week, I feel like Spirit is very much asking you to use this new moon's energy to anchor into believing your own self-worth, in the sense of, if you want it, if you desire it, if you have a heart for it, then there is a way to create it. There's a way to experience it. There's a way to allow for source energy, Spirit, for your guides and your angels to show you that what you love is possible. Okay, let's go on to Taurus. All right, everybody. Oops. Okay. The new moon, I think, was technically yesterday. And that's in the United States. So I think if you're, on the other side of the world in Australia, it was probably the day before. But the thing that Lotta talks about with the new moon is the new moon is dark, completely dark. And so as the new moon increases in its light, that's when is the optimum time to endeavor something that you want to create, to really put some intention into that. Because as the light grows, so does the opportunity to illuminate it. That's how I want to put it. Oh, congratulations, Stephen. Hello, Belgium. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's go on to Taurus Rising. All right, here we go. You know, actually, before I go on to Taurus Rising, somebody made a comment in, I think it was in last week, maybe it was the week before. The risk card comes up a lot, and I talk about, risking a bigger idea. When I say that, and this is kind of plays back to what I was talking about with Aries, is when you're risking a bigger idea and you're scared about it, there's a different vibration. There's a wobble in the vibration. So when you're really truly risking a bigger idea and you want to step out into that idea, really be mindful of, because if you're still sitting in a little trepidation, turn it over to spirit and say, give me that sign, give me those 3 signs that are really going to anchor my belief, because it's the be, do, have. So if we're risking something on a belief that is wobbly, then we're going to have a wobbly result. So we don't want to stand in complete fear. Oh no, I can't do it. And we don't want to move too forward, too fast, move forward too fast if there's fear bubbles in there, because it's kind of this fine line of being able to see it, walk through it, pop it, and believe at the same time. I know it's a little nutty. Okay, Taurus, here we go. Well, Joe D, that sounds awesome. All right, now I need to just take care of some things. Hold on, guys. I'm going to have to. We've got some not nice people here. Okay. Here we go. All right. Back to Taurus Rising. All right. Our first angel is Ariel. Our second is Crystal. Our third is Archangel Michael. And the final is Opal. Okay. All right. Joining Ariel is the Focus card. Joining Crystal is the Deer. Joining Archangel Michael is the Death card. And joining Opal is the Communication card. All right, here we go. Taurus Rising. Ariel talks about new psychic and spiritual experiences changing the way you view yourself and the world, and to take advantage of that by allowing yourself to study through prayer, through meditation, and through research. And here we have the Focus card. This is a very powerful combination, actually, because as we start to turn over our wants and desires, and I really want to offer you guys this kind of like little exercises will help you do this, like parking spaces. When you're going into Costco and you say to the spirit, thanks for that great parking space up front. And then as you pull in out of nowhere, somebody just sort of, pulls out, because this is really, it's the little things that will make the bigger things easier to believe. Because I want to offer this. Spirit is saying for Taurus Rising to have faith and hope, because there's something more on the horizon. That's what Crystal talks about. And then here's the Deer card. The Deer card really, for me, oftentimes we'll talk about fear, but it's about being gentle and diplomatic with yourself during this process when Spirit is moving things around, because there is a transformation being offered to Taurus Rising. The Death card is never about physical death. It's about if you think about what we talked about, this Taurus moon being Venusian, representing our self-worth. What if the transformation, the death is of the illusion that I'm not worthy? And Archangel Michael is saying, have courage to believe that you are worthy. And in doing so, you start to communicate with Spirit in a different way. Now, I have Opal, who talks about my children being safe on heaven and earth, and the communications card. But for me, this Taurus Rising thing, for Taurus Rising, this feels like it's more about myself. Children don't come on into the earth with a bad self-esteem. Yes, we may have issues from our soul's perspective, but when we come into this earth, we learn not to love ourselves. We learn to pick ourselves apart. We learn to think we're not capable or worthy. It's a rare human experience when you come into an environment that just allows for your unique expression without any blocks. So I feel like what's really talking about is of taking advantage of this new moon, taking advantage of the growing light of the moon to illuminate onto Taurus rising my sense of deserving, my sense of co-creation with the universe, my sense of empowerment is indeed aligning. And I'm going to speak like with the innocence of a child. I'm going to believe in magic. That's how I want to word it. Okay, let's go on to Gemini rising. I miss small wildflowers. I guess she had something to do today. I got used to her. Hey, everybody. I can never get the red lights to change. Well, there's one you can start working on. You can say, all right, Spirit, thank you for that light being green. And remember, when you're putting your order into Spirit with things, it's not about saying, oh, please change the light from being red, or please don't have the light be red. It's more being about in the outcome. So thank you for the parking space. Thank you for the ease of traffic. Thank you for the flow of traffic. Thank you for hitting all the green lights. That's how you want to put it. And as you do that, you can start to step up your game a little bit into things that you might be a little more uneasy about really having that deep belief in. But you think, well, I got that parking space, and you just start to up the ante a little bit. And as you do that, it grows. Your confidence grows. And as your confidence grows, then your beam to Spirit, your wobble is less. And as the wobble is less, it becomes more intentional, like a sword. Okay, here we go. We're on Gemini rising. Yes. Welcome, everybody on this Cinco de Mayo. Woo. All right, well, first card that pulls up is Yvonne for Gemini rising. Our second angel is Caressa, and our third is Serena, and our final is Sonia. All right. Here we go. All right, joining Yvonne is the Wealth card. Joining Caressa is the Queen. Joining Serena is the Movement card. And joining Sonia is the Serpent. Okay, interesting. All right. So for Gemini, I think if you guys are new to this channel, you will hear me say this often. Yvonne talks about having a way with animals. I never see it that way. I'm 59 years old. I never got married. I never had children. I had cats for decades. I just have my first dog now. So when I was ever scared, whenever I felt vulnerable to my own desires, I would always dream that I was trying to herd my cats, that they were lost somewhere in a house that I was unfamiliar with. And the interesting thing for me is that as I've studied, I know that the mind is represented in dream time by a house, because we live in the house of our mind. So what Spirit is saying for Gemini right now is very important for you to be vulnerable in order to feel the harmonious wealth that you're looking for. This wealth card represents not just monetary wealth, but wealth within and harmony within the various facets of my body, my physical body, my mental body, my emotional body, my financial body, my intimate body, my family body, all these dynamics. And it's really a little bit about Gemini taming this back and forth business, going back and forth, because as you use this new moon to anchor into your ability to receive, because I want to say this, in the opportunity obstacle, I have the Queen and I have Caressa. Caressa talks about the end of a cycle in our lives, the closing of a chapter, but that chapter brings in new happiness. And what if that chapter is the closing of undeserving and the beginning of deserving, of saying, yes, in my own life, I get to make the rules as a benevolent, loving ruler. The Queen also represents fertility. So, and this can be, for some of you, it may be straight up children, but being fertile within our lives is the ability to create the things that give us this harmonious wealth, the friends, the laughter, the dynamics, the money, the ease of flow, the enjoyment of our work environment. Because in the angel's advice, I have Serena and I have the movement card. This is pretty cool for Gemini rising because Serena talks about money straight up, but in the angel's advice, I really think she's talking about being open to receiving. Do you see how relaxed she is? And whatever your needs are, whatever your dynamic is, source energy, God is in charge of how that will show up. Your ability to sit vulnerably in the dynamics of what it feels like, the vulnerability of that deep connection to another person, or the wanting to have a family, or wanting to have money in the bank so that you feel secure. That is all, it's all about turning it over to spirit, because here is the serpent offering the shedding of a skin, a newness, again, capitalizing on what Caressa is offering. And here are your spirit guides. At some level, Gemini, it's really time to allow spirit to show you a new story, to give you a new experience, because you can't figure it out on your own. And if you try, you're just going to ping back and forth and back and forth, and you're going to drive yourself a little nutty. So again, I want to reiterate, this is about thanking spirit. And when we're in confusion, when we're in doubt, when we're in trepidation, when we're in fear, it's thank you, spirit, for giving me the eyes to see this through a new lens. Thank you for giving me a new experience to anchor myself into the dynamic I want to experience, I want to live. And when you feel yourself starting to shoot over, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this, ping back to the other side and then say to spirit, I want this, I want this, I want this. Because the focus on what I don't want can have a very strong emotional vibration, because the human has had so many experiences in what they don't want, and then trying to anchor that same emotion into what we do want, where the experiences have been not so much or maybe not at all, it becomes very challenging. So the main language that spirit listens to is not our verbal words, it is our emotional body, because our emotional body backs up those words with a vibration. All right, going on to Cancer rising. And if for some reason y'all don't know about where your rising sign is, you can always go to Lotta's birth calculator on astrolotta.com. It's free. You just need to know the time of your birth. Okay, and if anybody would like to order a reading from me, we've put some new services up. I've got some fun new readings. Meet Your Team of Angels is one of them, and also the Akashic Records, which is kind of fun. It's kind of a peek into your soul's history and see what might be the most relevant to this particular lifetime that you've contracted to learn. So anyway, just thought I'd tell you about those two things. And then we have a couple of quickies if you want one question. It's real reasonable. I think I've got 1, 2, and 3 questions. Those are all recorded readings. So just thought I'd let you all know. Let's go on to Cancer rising. I like to refer to you as my moon children. So all new moons, all full moons, all moon things will affect you, both male and female. All right, let's see what the angels have to say. Did you hear that? That was my tummy. Yay. Okay. Our first angel is Shanti. Our second is Bethany. Our third is Isaiah. And our final is Indriel. Okay. Orphan, it's always good. There's either the opportunity and or an obstacle. And obstacles are sometimes where we find our greatest empowerment. I know, my tummy just growled. I don't know why. Okay. Joining Bethany, we have the horse. Joining Isaiah, we have the disruption card. And joining Indriel, we have the wasp. Okay. So first thing I see when I look at this is that for Cancer rising, I feel like it's this movement card and Shanti are talking about you directly. This is the card of peace. This is the card, the angel of peace. And oftentimes before that peace can come in, we have to identify what's disrupting that peace. And here I have the movement card. So to me, this is very much offering Cancer rising, and not so much peace in your outer environment. I want to say, but peace within the inner environment, because I'm going to jump to the final position because we got the Wasp card. The Wasp is a challenging energy. I'm not going to say it's not. But this is the thing. I feel like maybe my Cancer risings are doing that nurturing thing to the point of they're not taking care of themselves enough, or they're feeling depleted, or they're feeling a little bit juiced. And I want to say it's time for you to allow yours to put yourself first. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I just mean you'll be better able to really facilitate those that you love much more, with much more ease, and without feeling like you're having to do it. That's what the Wasp is saying to me, because I'm going there because I have Bethany in the opportunity or the obstacle. And Bethany represents self-care. And then I have the Horse. And the Horse is about delegating authority and accepting help from others. And I actually usually refer to the Horse as an intuitive animal. But in this particular case today, I really feel like Cancer, it's about letting other people take care of things. You don't have to carry everything on your shoulders. Even the emotions of those that you love. We're all souls on this planet going through a certain journey. And sometimes what appears to be a rough patch is really Spirit's way of honing our skills and honing our intentions and honing our own energy. Because in the angel's advice, I have the disruption card, and I have Isaiah saying it's time to give birth to new ideas and situations in your life. And I really think the disruption is that maybe Cancer has to do it all. That you have to bring home the bacon and fry it up in a pan and make sure everybody's happy and fed. And if you're not happy and you're not fed, it's going to be really hard for you to shine your light and to be there for others. So I feel like this new moon is saying for my Cancer risings, it's about putting a little bit of oomph on you this week and doing what you love, doing something you like. And I know there are schedules to be kept, and there are, responsibilities to be had. But what if, one morning you got, one of the kids at school, you got the mom to pick your kid up and you got a morning off. I don't know. I feel like it's about a little bit of pushing outside the box, a little bit about thinking, you know what? I'm not making a career out of shirking my responsibilities, but maybe I'm being more responsible by taking care of me today. So you give yourself a morning off, and then you feel better in the afternoon. So I don't think this is specific to the parenthood. I just think that's the best example I could come up with at this time. So Cancer rising, this is about you this week. It's about taking care of you. It's about new ideas about you. And it's about implementing those new ideas about you. Okay, let's go on to Leo. Here we go, Leo. Did I just sing? Oh, dear God in heaven, you don't want that. My neighbors have to put up with it every once in a while late at night when I forget. And I just can't help myself and break out into song. Okay, Leo rising, here we go. I want to remind everybody to put your number in to win a free reading. I've been jonesing to give somebody something, and I just can't seem to connect, So please pick a number between 1 and 500, and you can pick multiple numbers. You just can't be crazy in multiple numbers, because that's not fair. But at this point, we really want people to win. Win. All right, Leo rising. Here we go. Our first angel is Crystal. Our second is Astera. Our third is Mystique. And our final is Azure. Ooh, that's fun. Those are fun angels. Not that they're not all fun. Oh, good job, everybody. Good job. Okay, Crystal is being joined by the Deer. Astera is being joined by Focus card. Mystique is being joined by the Swan. Azure is being joined by the butterfly. Wow. Leo rising. How fun is your week going to be? How fun is this new moon? I think Lotta's most recent video is even titled something like, the greatest week of to be alive. I think that's what it says. And I want to offer this. Here, Crystal is saying, have faith and hope because there's more on the horizon that you can see right now. And then here is the deer. And I really think this is about being gentle and diplomatic with myself as spirit moves things around to open things up. And I feel like your job, Leo rising, is to take advantage of this new moon and to put your intentions out there. Reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires and do not compromise. This is like, I want this, taking no prisoners. And then here I have the focus card. So it's double. This is your opportunity. Those of you who like to play with your vision boards, what a great couple of days to do that. If you want to start a new exercise regime, it's a great time to do that. Any little bit of intention that you put will be capitalized on by this idea, because here in the angel's advice is Mystique saying to charge ahead, to expect miraculous solutions. And I think you guys who've listened to me know that this is Gloria Estefan's coming out of the light and coming out of the dark and into the light. But it's also a process. It's not to fruition yet. And then here I have the Swan. The Swan is about transformation and about trusting my intuitive gifts, about strengthening my connection to the other side so that I can anchor myself into what Crystal has to offer me. I can go into the deeper inner knowing and trust it because Leo rising, so exciting. Here's the butterfly. And then here's Azure. She says, your desired outcome will happen in the very near future. Have faith and hope and don't try to force it. Okay, so this is the thing. When I see the butterfly, I always think that butterfly is going through a really crazy transformation. It thinks it's dying because it's been this little bug that's been walking on this little twig until suddenly it's trapped. It doesn't know what's happening. So here, while you focus, every single one of these angels is saying to focus on the outcome of what you want. Focus on, and whether or not you actually can sit in believing it, because this is the thing, you may get the wobble. You may go to the outcome and then go, oh, it's too good to be true. No, I can't. Yes, I can. Back and forth. And then the Leo part of you that says, wait, the sun shines on me. I'm ruled by the biggest planet in the universe, or at least in our little solar system. So, or star. I think it's actually a star. I think the sun is actually a star. But in any case, I want to say that because I think it's really time to not worry about being boastful, not worry about what other people are perceiving of it, and just allowing it to flow. And then when you can feel the goosies, when you can feel yourself in the situation, I mean, I don't care if you want to be a rock star. Get out your hairbrush, start singing, and let yourself feel it, because that is how you put that intention crazy up into the universe and start moving things around. That's what spirit does. It's just moving things around. And then you get a call out of nowhere or an opportunity. We don't realize in this world that just being on YouTube itself gives you an opportunity. Who knows who will see you? I have a client who was in a competition, and as a result of being on a competition, there was a YouTube video that was made of the competition, and then they got an opportunity to audition for a TV show. And it's all in process. So put yourself out there. That's what I got to say. Put yourself out there. As they say, throw spaghetti against the wall. Julie, I want to say, or Julia, Ingo, I want to offer you this idea. If you feel lost about your work and your future, then actually allow yourself to be in that space, and then to muse about what you would enjoy if indeed you were. What is your currency? What do you want? I go back to when I was a kid. What did I want to be when I grew up? I was always most authentic then. And the funny thing is, I am being the very thing I wanted to be when I was a little girl. So go there and let yourself play. Get some Play-Doh. Get your mind in a creative space, and it'll help move the cobwebs. Well, if you wanted to be an actor, there's no reason why you can't be an actor now. because there is more opportunity now than ever before, depending upon your age. So, and I'm assuming actor, not actin in the comments. But, there's community theater. There's so many things. Just taking an acting class. Why not? It might make the grind of what you're doing during the day to make money more fun, and then present other opportunities, and spirit will be able to move things and inspire you in other ways. It doesn't matter if you never pursued it. Today is today. Tomorrow is tomorrow. Yesterday is gone. If you never pursued it, you can pursue it now. That's the permissions we give ourselves. That's when I talk about the risk card, you guys. That's the risk. Wow. This is the thing, an actor in film, you're assigning something to it. What an actor does is an actor creates. They're taking on a character and they're submerging themselves in that. So when you go, this doesn't feel right, or I feel too old for this, or I feel too, this too pie in the sky, that's where the wobble comes in. Tone it down to something small. And if you haven't done any acting in a long time and you think it may be fun, doing it in a small place will give you an opportunity to see if you are interested or you're not. But play. That's the important part, to play. We assign so much. Yes, Stephen, she's pigeonholing herself. Exactly. That's what I think. Okay. All right. Here we go. Virgo Rising. Okay. Here we go. Virgo Rising. Our first angel is Astera. The second is Isabella. The third is Francesca. And the final is Shanti. All right, Raptor, are you being funny? Vlad Raptor 5? Or is there a ghost behind me and I don't see it? You're not being funny. So are you telling me there's a ghost behind me? Because I live alone. So there's nobody behind me. And there's lots of ghosts that come in here all the time. Yes, you're saying there's a ghost behind me? I wouldn't be surprised. Can you describe it? Can you see it? Is it my dad? I'm not too scared. Okay, here we go, Virgo Rising. Our first, joining Astera is the butterfly. Joining Isabella is the forgiveness card. Joining Francesca is the raven. And our final angel is, joining Shanti is the love card. Well, interesting. All right, I'll play along. Is it a man or a woman? You're kidding. Really, all you guys? Interesting. Well, I'm glad because before I just so you know, before I start my my readings or I do this Sunday show, I always invite all energies equal to or higher than my own into the space for the highest and greatest good of not just myself and you guys, but everyone who will be touched by our sessions. So if somebody's here, then he must be here to support us. So let's go on to Virgo. Virgo Rising. We have Astera here. Astera is saying, reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires. Remember, no compromising. And here we go, the butterfly. The butterfly is all about transformation. And that is what is being offered to Virgo Rising. Okay, is that by reaching for the stars with your dreams and desires, by being out there on the ledge of your dreams without any evidence, this is going to start to shift you. Okay. Then we have going into our opportunity or our obstacle, we have Isabella saying, yes, the timing is right. And there's the forgiveness card. The forgiveness card is always about reconciliation for me. This is always about, it's kind of a timing for my Virgo Rising. As you allow for the butterfly's transformation, as you reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires, you can suddenly find a reconciliation within your mind that, yes, there is a certain amount of practicality that we get to implement on this planet, being in our earthly bodies, but we are more light beings. And so you're going to get an experience that gives you balance between those two things. Because here we have The Timing is Right by the Raven, right? And then we have Francesca saying that what you desire right now will come to fruition. And it's your job to hold that vision, to hold that dynamic of understanding that if indeed you can't see it, if indeed you're not pushing it forward, if indeed you're not banging the pavement, that doesn't mean things aren't happening. That's really what I think Isabella is offering you right now, because yay, Virgo rising, we have Shanti, the angel of peace, and we have the love card. I really think that this is a lot to do with not just your physical experience, but your emotional and spiritual bodies, giving yourself permission to say, you know what, I put an intention out there. I didn't know how it was going to play out. I allowed for the process of it coming to being. And in doing so, I feel more peace of mind, and I feel more powerful in my own life. And I'm starting to love my life. I was talking to somebody, I think it was, I don't remember who it was yesterday, but oy, oy, oy. Okay, now we just got somebody who's just, please, let's just take all this nonsense off. And if we're not, we're going to have to do this too, because that's just not. Okay, all right. Okay, guys, sorry about that. We had some challenging energy pop into the room, but they're gone now. Okay. All right, Virgo rising, because this is really kind of important for you, okay? Because this is the transformation from you being too in your head to being able to balance what you need to do in the practical 3D world, and also being in the missed you small wildflowers. I cannot tell you how much. Son-in-law had to go to ER and no reception there. I'm so sorry. I hope he's feeling better. Okay, but I'm so glad you're back. We really need you. Okay, Virgo rising. Overall, it is a great week to take advantage of this new moon, to put your intentions, your wants, your desires, what you really love out into the universe, and then to say that you're willing to go through the process of the unknowing of what you can't do, because Spirit's got to move it around. And in doing so, you're going to start to feel more peace of mind. You're going to feel more in love with your own life. That's kind of how I want to put it. I started to say before we had that interruption that this particular week I was talking to somebody and we were talking about what makes you happy, and I started to think about, she said something about having lots of money. And I was like, you know what? I think I like my freedom. I get to really choose my life. I get to choose when I work, when I play, when I eat, when I sleep. I'm not a slave to a job. I'm engaged in my own vision of my life, and I love what I do. This is my greatest gift, is to be able to sit here with you guys on Sunday morning and talk about spirituality and share Spirit's messages with you. So this is what I want to offer Virgo rising. When you put it out there, what you really love, without that, I wanted to be, but I can't be it anymore. Why not? Why not? Okay, let's go on to our Libras. Here we go. I feel much better now. I don't have to watch the chat so much. Thank you, small wildflowers. And you weren't here earlier. I'm sorry about your son-in-law, but I'm going to just say it. I was going to do it privately, but I want to offer you a half-hour free reading because you have been so kind to be my moderator and to help me do this work. So please contact me through Lotta's website. Go to the readers menu and send me an email. And also my contact information is in below, so you can text me if you're in the United States. But if you're somewhere else, please don't, because I don't have an international plan. Okay. TMI. Okay, here we go. On to Libra. Okay, 564 is out of range. You want to pick a number between 1 and 500. And that's to win a free reading. We do that every week. You know what I've found is consistency. I started my own channel, and it took a year and a half to get like 5,000 views or something. Um, and that's why I pursued getting here on Lotta's channel, because I wanted to be able to reach more people. But I do believe that as we move forward, the consistency, Spirit will start to bring in the people who are drawn to what you have to offer, who will benefit from. So stay the course. Lots of times our immediate results are not the remotely indicative of what we're actually putting out into the universe and the momentum we're creating. So I'd say it that way. Okay, here we go. Libra Rising. Our first angel is Astera. See, we got a theme going on here. Our next angel is Bridget, and then Desiree, and then Teresa. Okay. Now I want to remind you guys that when the first and the fourth position for me are more in the material world. The first position is the foundation that we sit on. It's where we're starting. And then the final position is the potential final outcome. The third and the second and the third are more advisory. So I'm telling you that because in this particular case, they're a little challenging. Pixie Dust, all the numbers are to win a free half-hour reading. We do this every week. We pick a number between 1 and 500. And if you're the first person to pick the number, you win a free half hour. And you have 1 week to claim it. You don't have to book it. You just have to claim it. Teresa is my God-given name, actually. Spelled just like that. Okay, here we go. Joining Astera is the Fire Fairy. Joining Bridget is the High Priestess. Joining Desiree is the Baird. And joining Teresa is the Fear card. Okay, dolls. My Libra Rising, here we go. So in our foundational position, we have Astera saying to reach for the stars with your dreams and your desires and not to compromise with your intentions. And then we have the Fire Fairy, which is about creative action and more so optimism. I want to say this because I feel like this is a bit of a challenge for Libra Rising right now. And I'm going to jump to the fourth position because I have Teresa. And for me, she is a card of she's taking care of everybody else. And she's a bit of worry. She's feeling, as you can see, very taxed. And then we have the Fear card. And I get this feeling from Libra Rising. It's like almost like, well, if I don't do it, who will do it? Or if I don't, I'm used to being the person, the go-to person. Because in my opportunity and or my obstacle, I have Bridget asking me to look deeper into situation. And then here's the High Priestess. I feel like this is really asking Libra Rising, are you playing to what you want in your life? Are you allowing for the vision of what you have for yourself? Because the angels are kind of telling me in their advice that I'm kind of talking on my history. Desiree says conditions aren't necessarily favorable. This is me interpreting that Libra is burdening themselves in their mind about a story of expectation from others, about, if you're in the middle of your life and you've got kids and you've got a husband or a wife and you've got family and you've got, soccer and school and, this extracurricular activity, it may seem almost impossible for you to figure out, how can I do what I want to do for me? How can I actually get that done? I mean, isn't that selfish of me to just abandon everybody? But this is where I feel like it's about turning it over to Spirit, because you're going to wear yourself out, and you're going to wear yourself out into a place where you're going to stop being able to, I don't want to say it like so dramatically, but if you become so focused out, you're going to somehow close down what you need for yourself. It's going to become a habit of thought that's hard to break. Fears are hard to break. So I want to offer this. Libra Rising, it's about balance. It's about justice. It's about things pertaining to what's fair, the law. So what's fair is for you to be able to take care of yourself. So hey, Rachel, good to see you. Let's say this. Let's say you are a busy family member, okay? Then just do your best to say, taking out just a few minutes, even if it's just about going into the other room and taking a hot bath, shutting the door, putting on some headphones. I just feel like it's really important, because this really, the fear here feels like, will there ever be time for me? Will there ever be time for me? So that's how I'm interpreting it. You can call me Rachel. My name is Teri Hunter, and I'm using Doreen Virtue's Messages from Your Angels. I believe it was one of her first decks, if not the first deck. And I use a deck, and I don't remember the name of it, but somebody in my audience does. I believe it's something Avalon. It's by Colette Baron Reed, and it's based on the Legend of Camelot. It has animal totems. It has characters like the Fire Fairy, and then we have markers on the Road of Life that you'll see. And I use them together. Okay, let's go on to Scorpio. All right, Wisdom of Avalon. Yes, thank you. Okay, here we go. Scorpio Rising. Okay. Our first angel is Archangel Raphael. The second is Grace and Antoinette. The third is Desiree. And the final is Crystal. I was just thinking that. So Scorpio Rising conjunct Venus with Mars conjunct Pluto. I was just thinking about the Pluto dynamic as I was looking down at the cards. You know, it's a challenging energy. I'm not going to say it's not, but you know, on the flip side of it, it's pretty amazing how what Pluto can do for you, right? When you've seen the darkest, then there's nothing but a dawn. All right, here we have Archangel Raphael is joined by the horse. Grace and Antoinette is joined by the queen. Desiree is joined by the butterfly, and Crystal is being joined by the goblin. Okay. When I looked down at this, I thought to myself, when Archangel Raphael is here, there's a healing being involved, okay? And the horse is a card of delegating authority and accepting help, okay? When I looked at this, I felt like the very first hit I got is that there were things that Scorpio Rising wants that aren't quite in happening just yet. There's things that are in play. There are things that you have intentions out, but you're not seeing any results just yet. So to me, you know, I talk about the horse being an intuitive card. I talk about the horse doesn't follow fear. And also the horse, if you look kind of, I don't know if you guys can tell, but there's a purple hue at the feet of this horse. And to me, that's always sort of been, you know, the third eye here. I really have to kind of delegate to spirit to reconcile what's going on right now, because I feel like Scorpio, because you're ruled by Pluto, you could tell yourself a really sketchy story about what's happening. Because you have no information, the information that you will make up in your head may be more about not winning than winning. Because here I have Grace and Antoinette, which is a card of compassion. It's a card of looking at things from another perspective. And then I have the Queen card here. So really, I feel like this is your opportunity to actually have compassion and see yourself as the ruler of your own life while you're going through a gestation period, while you're waiting for maybe hearing news, waiting for the baton to be passed to you. Because in the angel's advice, Desiree is saying conditions are not favorable right now to move forward. And then here's the butterfly. The butterfly, it talks about beauty on the card, but it is a gestation period. It is the caterpillar that's going through this you know, opportunity to be able to float on the airwaves, because I feel like Scorpio Rising is really letting their ego get the best of them this week. It's telling you stories that you don't need to hear anymore, okay? And here is Crystal saying have faith and hope, that there's more on the horizon. I'm going to have to just excuse me for a second. We're not a political place, so we're just going to remove that. Thank you. Okay, so Crystal is saying have faith and hope. And the ego is what I want to say here too, is that I don't want to villainize the ego. I don't want to make it, this is kind of not a very pleasant looking card, to be honest. But the ego is also the part of us that has courage. It's also the part of us that says, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. It also says, are you sure? Are you sure? So when we delegate to spirit, the bigger knowing of of ourselves and the chiming of our ego, please let my ego stand in alignment with me. One of the main things that I say before every reading, before every meditation, before every Sunday morning, I say, I thank my ego for being here. And then I ask my ego to step aside so that spirit may step through with clear, detailed, and accurate information. So I don't want to villainize her. I want to work with her. So that's what I think is being offered for my Scorpio risings this week, is really to have compassion for self as you go through a process of seeing yourself in a bigger picture. And we're just having a little bit of issues here. We're just going to block everybody who's not being nice. Okay. I just have to say it. I just can't, I can't do that. All right. And then we're going to do this. Okay. All right, guys, let's go on to Sagittarius. All right. You guys, last couple of weeks, we've had some people in the chat that have been kind of, having their own opinion about things, wanting to kind of junk around. I didn't block Perla. I just blocked the comment. Sorry. I didn't block her, just the message. The reason I'm saying this is because, I can appreciate controversy. I can appreciate everybody having their own opinion about things. But just, straight up, I don't want to say hate, because I don't think that's fair either. But just disruption, I can't abide by that. This is a room, or this is a time I think is a sacred space to spend with God. The angels are with our intentions, and to create a sacred place where we're all safe to express ourselves and to be of an accepting energy. So I just want to offer that to you guys. So if we kick somebody out, it's because I don't believe they're standing in that energy. I don't have any issues if y'all want to have a constructive conversation. Diversity is what this country is about and what this human experience is about. So let's go on to Sagittarius now, guys. All right, Sagittarius rising. Here we go. Oh, all right. So we have Bridget, who popped out of the deck. Melissa, breathe. Okay. We have Grace and Antoinette again. We have Isaiah. And we have Adriana. All right. Oh, I think it's really fun to look at the progressed. My progressed rising is Cancer. I'm really surprised. It's a very different energy for me. Okay. Joining Bridget is the communications card. Joining Grace and Antoinette is the letting go card. Joining Isaiah is the birth and rebirth card. And joining Adriana is is Merlin. Okay. This is really cool, I think. Okay. Well, real quick, I'll tell you, chaos theory, as we go through life, our natal chart progresses. Our rising sign changes, our sun sign changes, and all the planets move as well. So if you're interested in knowing how your planets have progressed, you can go to a free birth calculator and just go I think it's astro.com that has the extended forecasts, and you look for your progressed chart. You want to look at it in comparison to your natal chart. But it's a big study. So yeah, You might want to take a class. It's a big thing. All right, let's go back on to Sagittarius. Here we go. So this is where we're sitting. Bridget is saying, caution, look deeper into the situation, and this is about communication. So this is really about, for Sagittarius rising, about how are you communicating with yourself? Are you, when you're going deeper into the situation, are you sitting on a true platform on what you believe? That if there's a wobble, if there's a, I hope I believe this about myself, I hope this will happen, I'm trying to be positive in the face of negativity, then you've got to wobble. You've got to look here at what are you really sitting on? What is the real story that you're telling yourself? And I'm going to say this because I'm going to go straight back to the fourth position, because Merlin represents balance through pressure. It's a karmic card. It's justice. It's alchemy, but it's not an easy card. There's a bit of pressure. So this may be why during the pressure, you may be feeling a little bit sketchy and wondering what's going on. This is Adriana saying she's leading you to the answer to your prayers, or leading you to where you want to be. And the answer is coming through your prayers, through your meditations, through your dreams. And there's Merlin. So while you're sitting here in the midst of again, when we are manifesting something, we're in a constant process of either initiating it, working towards it, achieving it, and then reinitiating it. So there's always some sort of process, and there's always a point of unknowing or unsureness of putting it out there and sort of waiting to see what's happened. I thought of baking a cake. You get all the ingredients together, you put it in the oven, and you have to wait for it to bake. Because in our opportunity or obstacle for my Sagittarius rising, I have the compassion card of Grace and Antoinette. This is about seeing things from a different point of view, having compassion for myself and for others during the process. And then I have the letting go card. And for me, letting go is not about letting something go. It's about writing my own story. It's, I say it repeatedly, and I'm sorry if it's annoying, but this is Elsa going up the mountain in Frozen. It's also the number 44, which is the master builder number. So as you have compassion for yourself, as your fears become something that you're starting to conquer, and you're becoming more brave, it's important for you to keep your eye on the prize, that you are initiating new things. This is the angel's advice, the birth and the rebirth card, and Isaiah is saying it's time to give birth to new ideas and new situations, that you're being guided and protected during this process. And that couldn't be more reinforced by the birth and the rebirth card. So there's a series of things that on some level you will repeat, and yet you'll repeat them at a higher level than yourself, than you've been. I hope that made sense, because that's where I think the real alchemy comes in. It's about, it almost feels a little bit like, for Sagittarius rising, there's two little things. There's the challenge of the inner mind, and the challenge of the inner dialogue saying, am I going to achieve it? Will it happen? Have I worked this hard? Have I put this much money into this situation? And is it going to work? Is it going to, we get scared, right? That's where that pressure comes in. And that's where that inner knowing, where you have to say, you know what? Yeah, I have been putting in the right amount of time, the right amount of intention, the right amount of trepidation. When we're doing something, when we're endeavoring something, of course we have to consider the landscape ahead. There's always going to be a peak and a valley. There's always going to be an obstacle and an opportunity. So I really feel like Sagittarius, you've done great work overall. Now is no time to doubt yourself. Now is a time to allow for spirit to give you a bigger knowing, a stronger anchoring into that interior knowing. That's what Grace and Antoinette offer you. Compassion for yourself as you rewrite your story, and as you start to get distance from those fears. Okay, let's go on to Capricorn. Me goats. Okay. All right, everybody. And there's all sorts of apps to find the different charts there are. The transit chart, and the progress chart, and all the other little things, and the different ways you can cut the pie that makes things a little bit different. I always feel like there's a certain part of me that when I look at my personal natal chart, I see the progressed part resonates with me in some areas, and the whole sign, looking at it that way, resonates. But when I put the two together and I allow my intuition to go, oh yeah, that resonates with me, because I have Rahu and Ketu in Placidus in the 12th and the 6th house, but in whole sign it's in the 1st and the 7th. And it really resonates with me in the 12th and the 6th, because I have been so Rahu about this work my whole life before I even knew what Rahu was. And every weekend I would, go to the bookstore and I would study and I would read and I would want to do readings and I wanted to do them to help people. So when you're looking at your charts, guys, and when you're doing, those explorations, kind of give yourself a little bit of a blurry line in some ways so that your intuition can lead you, because there's the structure, yes, but then there's being able to look at it from different sides. Everything has multiple meanings. Okay. All right, here we go. Woo! On to the goats. Get going here. That's my pixie dust. That might be as part of what the progressed chart will do. It'll start to resonate with you. And I didn't even realize that I was in a Cancer ascendant now, which was interesting to me because my home has become very important to me, my sense of security in all things fourth house. Who knew? Okay, let's get right on to the goats. We have Archangel Michael, we have Yvonne, we have Akasha, and we have Azure. And I said that wrong. Yvonne came out first, Archangel Michael came out second, then Akasha, then Azure. Okay. All right. Joining Yvonne, we have the Burden card. Joining Archangel Michael, we have the Mystery. Joining Akasha is the Fear card, and joining Azure is the Water Fairy. Okay. So, me goats, love ya. Yvonne talks about being vulnerable. I don't think my Capricorns like being vulnerable that much, to be honest with you. I think they really just not a place they sit comfortably. You're Saturn ruled. And here's the Burden card. So this very much says to me, yes, I don't like feeling vulnerable. I don't like feeling out of control. I don't like feeling not purposeful. So, and I don't mean it purposeful like because you're purposeful in your life, but I mean like I want to run the bus. I want to drive the bus. I'll get us where we need to go. You just get in. Well, this week might be a time when that's not going to quite happen for you because here in my opportunity and my obstacle is Archangel Michael asking me to have the courage to be doing things a little bit different. And when I say different, it's about making different choices. It's about, you know what, let's just say for some reason that, you're in a couple. Okay. And I'm going to use the driving the car analogy. And let's say, that your wife tends to drive slow. And you're like, I just want to get there. I just want to get there. I just want to get there. But she really knows how to get there better. And you leave it. Let her do it. This really feels like a week in some respects to turn over my control. That's the way I want to put it. Turn over. And I don't mean give it away. I just mean to allow others an opportunity to show what they can do. I have Akasha, the spiritual teacher, and I have the Fear card in the Angel's Advice. I don't think this is about Capricorn being fearful, but I do think that sometimes with such clarity, and I think of Capricorn as being such a leadership energy for me. So sometimes it might be hard to let other people be the leader. And that's what I think that this is about. And that you'll learn more about the empowerment of those around you so that you can kind of relax a little bit. Because in the final position, I have Azure saying your desired outcome will happen in the near future. Have faith and don't try to force it. And then we have the Water Fairy, which is about my emotions. And I really feel like for my goats, there's a part of you that would like to just kind of relax. This is like, I'm ready for that. I'm ready to allow the people around me to show their strength so that I don't have to always take care of everything or make sure everything's working right. That's the way I want to put it. It's interesting to me because it's kind of feels a little counterintuitive. Like on one level, my goats want to kind of relax and not have to always be in charge. And then on the other hand, they're like, well, I don't know. Can you really be in charge? Because if you can, I think I can let you. But if you can't, I'm going to jump into action. So this feels like it's a week to just start to really be vulnerable and let's see what other people can do. All right. Let's go on to Aquarius. Welcome, Scotland. I want to thank you for joining us. My father was born and raised in Scotland. I still have relatives there. It's very, very fond part of the world for me. Okay. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. Okay, here we go for our Aquarius Rising. Okay, and I want to remind you all, we are playing the game. You have pick a number between 1 and 500, and you have an opportunity to win a half-hour free reading with me. You have 1 week to claim it. We announce the winner each week at the beginning of the show. And then I also want to remind you guys that I've got a couple new offerings as far as readings go. There's a 1-question reading. It's real reasonable. There's an Akashic Records reading, which is about looking into your soul's previous experiences and meeting your team. We just put a few new things up there that might be fun for you to check out. And we tried to do it so it would be affordable and quick for you. Okay, let's go on to Aquarius and get that going. This week's number was a big goose egg. It was number 32, and nobody guessed it. Okay. Here we go, Aquarius Rising. Our first angel is Daniel. Our second is Azure. Our third is Isabella. And the final is Xana. All right. 2002-34 is out of range. One to 500, guys. All right. And if I would have known it would have been this hard, I wouldn't have made it 500. I would have thought you guys would have just been plowing. I thought every week somebody would win. I'm so funny. Okay. Joining Daniel is the Goblin. Joining Azure is the Burden card. Joining Isabella is the Dog. And joining Xana is the Horse. Okay. Aquarius Rising. Daniel is the angel of marriage. He talks about bringing a partner, that he's assisting you right now. Oftentimes, I don't necessarily think this is always a marriage partner, because when we're married to a business partner, we are married, even sometimes even more so than in our intimate relationships. Then I have the Goblin. Okay, so kind of where I'm going with this is that for Aquarius Rising, what I believe Spirit is asking is for you to look deeper into the experiences you've had in your relationships and your partnerships. And this is about sort of wiping the slate clean. I really think that this is about allowing yourself a new picture, a new version of what that could be, partnerships. Because in the opportunity, the obstacle, I have Azure and I have the Burden card. And when Azure talks about, your desired outcome happening in the near future, have patience and faith and don't try to force it. The Burden card is telling me that for Aquarius, there's a part of you that has had challenges in your relationships. And I want to put this sort of not just in my intimate and partners, but maybe friendships as well. There may just be this dynamic of having this sort of where you've been putting yourself out there and it just doesn't feel like things are coming back even, balanced, an even exchange of energy between friends. And I feel like that this is setting up a little bit of a dynamic where you're kind of going into situations bracing a wee bit. excuse me. We're going to remove that. Because I want to say this, Isabella is in the opportunity or the obstacle, and there's the dog card. And I really think that this is the angel's advice. It's about accepting and receiving love. This is about integrity. This is about sincerity. And I feel like what I want to say for my Aquarius rising is that I feel like I don't want the old experiences that I've had kind of slime the experiences that I could be having now. Okay. It's almost about, because here I have the protection card in the form of Xana, and I have the horse. This is about, what is going on? I don't get this right now, guys. You're really distracting me, and I'm just not appreciating it. So please clean up your act. If you want to cuss, go to somebody else. Go outside. Do it somewhere else. Okay. Aquarius rising, I apologize for this, but what I feel like a spirit is saying for you this week is that sometimes you've been hurt in situations, and you've been maybe, I almost want to use words like betrayed. You put your trust into people, and your trust has been treated poorly, been treated frivolously. And if that is the case, and you're endeavoring new relationships, do your best to wipe the slate clean, because I feel like you really want those connections, but you're bracing on some level for it because you're used to it. So wildflowers, I don't know what's going on. I just don't know what is going on with these people. They've spent a lot of time figuring out how to cuss with weird spelling, because it's time to give birth to new ideas to yourself, Aquarius rising. It's time for you to feel, to trust things a little bit more, to trust yourself a little bit more. If you smell something, rather than running towards it or running away from it, just give it a minute and see, is it actually poop on the ground that you don't want to step on? Or is it just a fart that needs just a little air to go by? Nobody is perfect. And we all get super sketchy when we start to fall in love, when we start to feel vulnerable to another person, whether it be vulnerable to them in a partnership in business, whether it be vulnerable to them in a friendship, whether it be vulnerable to them in an intimate relationship. And so we kind of have to be brave within ourselves to say, you know what, I'm going to use these experiences that have hit me in a way that didn't feel so good. And if I smell something like that, I'm going to step back and say, okay, I'm just going to give myself a minute. And then I'm going to ask Spirit to give me signs and omens that I am being spiritually and emotionally protected, so that I can enjoy these relationships in my life. Oy, what a day. We need to know, where is Pluto? Where is Pluto squaring something in my chart here? I wonder. All right, let's go on to our final sign, Pisces. Oh. The cranky people are wearing me out. I don't quite know. I can't quite figure out who's being fun and who's being funny and who's just being obnoxious. Maybe we need to block them, small wildflowers, if people can't be respectful of the space. I'm just not having it. All right, Pisces, you've waited a long time. And I want to say this to all my loyal viewers that, we're going to start blocking people. Because it's not fair to you guys that I get so distracted by these people. So we're doing our best to stay on track. So please be patient with us and send us a lot of love. Good vibrations. All right, Pisces, here we go. Our first angel is Chantal. Our second is Shanti. Our third is Fiona. And our final is Crystal. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense. Pluto and Mars are quintex right now. Yes. Okay. With Chantal, we have the movement card. With Shanti, we have the deer. With Fiona, we have the stag. And with Crystal, we have the forgiveness card. This is pretty cool. So for my Pisces rising, Chantal is the angel of romance. The angel that says that a new romance is imminent or the resurgence of a romance is coming in. And then I have the movement card, which is pretty exciting. And I want to say this, I do, and I've felt this for some time. Every time I get to Pisces, I've had this feeling that it's your turn for love and excitement. And here we have Shanti, the angel of peace, and we have the deer card. You know, oftentimes I will refer to the deer as a deer in the headlights, but on the face of the card, it talks about gentleness and diplomacy. And then we have Shanti, the angel of peace. Now I have to laugh because in the angel's advice, I have the stag. The stag and the deer are a couple. Get it? A couple. And then I have Fiona here saying that now that you've asked God and the angels for help, be open to receiving their guidance. Could I laugh more, you guys? I feel very much like Pisces. This if you're not in a relationship, then be hopeful and excited about a relationship. And if you're in a relationship, start to really allow yourself to trust your own inner knowing so that you can be your authentic self in that relationship. Because we have Crystal again saying have faith and hope. There's more on the horizon that you can't see. And then we have the forgiveness card, which is really the reconciliation card for me. So I go back to this Chantal and the movement card, and I feel like this is awesome because you trusting this dynamic of deserving love, deserving of an intimate relationship, deserving of the flow of it, the trust of it, the yin and the yang of it, the stag and the deer of it, because two people coming together bring two different dynamics, complementary dynamics, we hope, right? And in doing so, in trusting that, yes, it's out there for me. It's my turn. It's time. And if for some reason there is a stall, then Spirit is indeed setting up a dynamic to bring this together, to bring together the leadership qualities of the stag and the gentleness of the deer. And that's ushering in the peace that Pisces so much wants, you know. And I really do feel very much that this is in your intimate bodies. This doesn't feel like it's partnership in business or friendships. It feels very much in connection to someone who I see you, you know. So I want to offer you to be excited. Use this new moon's energy to take advantage of really putting that intention out there and saying, as the moon's light grows, so does my willingness to receive God's blessings in love, in the dynamics of connection. Okay. All right, guys, I want to thank you all for being here with me. Don't be afraid to hit the like button if you want. I wouldn't be too adverse to that idea. It's been a challenging morning with our Pluto and Mars activity. But you know what? We soldiered through. We conquered as far as I'm concerned. And I feel like Small Wildflowers, you are perfect just the way you are. Thank you for showing up and doing moderating. I so appreciate it. And please get a hold of me through Lotta's site or through my contact information. And I want to get you that free reading. You've worked hard for it. And want to thank you all for being here again. And remember, this is a new moon in Taurus. It's about self-worth. It's about claiming yourselves. It's about saying, I deserve. It's my turn. So thank you so very much. And I will be back next week. And hopefully Mars will have moved somewhere else. I'm pretty sure that'll happen by then. All right, everybody. Much love to you. My name is Teri Hunter. I'm an angel therapy practitioner, Reiki master, intuitive guide, and empowerment coach. And I'm here on Lotta's site every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And if you'd like to book a reading, feel free to go to Lotta's site. I'm under the reader's menu. All right, guys, have a great week. I'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.